joining us on our 196th day of our Bible reading plan. Today I'll be taking you through the book of Proverbs, chapter 7, 8, and 9. I will just be giving you a summary of what is happening in these chapters and just some of the learnings that I've taken from it. Starting with chapter 7, we see how Solomon is giving advice to his son and urging him to keep his word and commandments. He goes to say to him, they should be like the apple of your eye. This is a phrase that we use a lot to things that we cherish. So he is actually telling him that you should cherish wisdom. Ensure that wisdom is something that you love. And he speaks to binding wisdom on your fingers. For me, that says, whatever you do, it should be done with wisdom. Whatever you seek to do, make sure that wisdom is with you all the time. And he also says, that he must write it on the table of his heart. So the Bible speaks about how out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth will speak. So we must ensure that wisdom is in our hearts, so that whatever we speak, we will speak sound things. We will give good counsel. We will direct people accordingly with wisdom. And he then further goes, in this, he then speaks about the crafty harlot, and he's warning his son about the ways of a harlot. And he goes into detail about how she does things. And what was interesting for me is when he speaks about how she, prepares her bed for him. She uses Egyptian linen. We know that is high quality. It is nice and soft, and she perfumes her bed. And for me, that just says, sin will always present itself in such a beautiful manner. Sin will always look great and feel great. And what I really liked here is that how she appeals to all his senses. She appeals to his sense of touch. When you look at when he feels the Egyptian cotton on his body, it's nice and soft. When he smells the perfume, when he listens to her speech, when he sees her, because she's dressed to entice him. And so that, sin will always appeal to all our senses. It will look good. It will feel good. It will smell good. It will sound good. So we must always make sure that we are living according to God's word, and making sure that God's word is so engraved in our hearts that we will be able to see that it is sin, even when it looks great. And because when she speaks, she says to him, let us delight ourselves with love. How can this be love? They just met and she's got a husband. So sin will make you believe things that are not true, because she's telling him that this is love, and because he's been he's been enticed already, and he also starts to believe that actually this is life. And it also tells us that he didn't know that all these things that he's seeing, feeling, hearing, smelling, are things that will cost him his life. And then when we continue now into chapter 8, we see that he continues to tell him, that it is important that you receive wisdom above all things, above silver, above, gold, because wisdom is better than rubies. And, it says that all things one may desire cannot be compared with her. And, wisdom knows that we desire things, but it will direct us to desire things that are good for us, things that will give us life. And also in chapter 8, it speaks about how wisdom has always been there from the beginning of time. Wisdom has been there when God created the heavens and the earth. And it just makes me think to myself, how can I not want to seek wisdom? How can I not want to get more wisdom? If wisdom has been there and it's been there when God created heavens and the earth. And so it's something that we really should desire. It's something that we must seek for each and every single day, that God give us wisdom so that we can live accordingly, make the right decisions, do the right things. And wisdom will mature you, I believe, because when we go into chapter 9, when we read verse 8, and it says that when you rebuke a wise man, he will love you for it, because he takes your rebuke as a lesson, or he takes it and digests it and allows the rebuke to teach him, to help him grow as a person. So for me, that says, if I continue to seek wisdom, I will mature as a Christian, I will mature as an individual in society, I will be a better person because of wisdom. And we should always continue to fear the Lord, because that is the beginning of wisdom. Always ensure that we are seeking God each and every single day. So these chapters were really just great, but my favorite, was just how sin in chapter 7, when he describes or just explains how the harlot prepares herself or goes after this man. And that's exactly, for me, it says that's how sin works. Sin will entice you and appeal to all your senses and feel and look good. So we must always ensure that we are so rooted in God's word, and continue to let wisdom be engraved in our hearts, so that we will be able to see sin no matter how good it looks. So please do join us so that we can continue to have discussions on these 3 chapters on our Zoom discussions this afternoon at 5 p.m. Thank you very much, and